Good afternoon. This is Dr. Princess. A friend of mine was lamenting to me the other day about some of the frustrations that she's having in the dating world. So I figured I'd go over some of the books that I've used which assisted me in the strategy of dating. I start down here with Financial Wellness and the Pyramid Guide. If you know, you know. This section of books is focused on self. As we continue here, Financial Freedom for Black Women, Men Don't Love Women Like You, How to Text Men. Some of these are fun gag books to read. Black Labor, White Wealth, Every Word You Cannot Say. A friend of mine from undergrad read this book, Every Word You Cannot Say, cover to cover, absolutely loved it. Read it in about 2 hours sitting in my apartment in 2022, and I still haven't finished it. Two of the books that I brought here, the Silver and the Black Psalm 24, those are not journals, those are actually address books. And I want to highlight the fact that one of the things I did and have done during the single journey is exercise gratitude. I made sure that anytime anyone sent me a card or a gift or anything at all, I sent them a card. I had the address book from folks who were thoughtful enough to do anything for me back home. I also have friends and family across the country, so they weren't always sending me things from the state I'm from. As we come here, this section of books, starting with Psychopath Free, really helps you with your understanding of others as you approach dating. So the first set is self, and this set here is others and how you interact with others. So I start off with Psychopath Free because while you're dating, you might meet a psychopath. The next section of books, I won't really highlight the authors much, but they wrote Don't Forget Your Crown and The Man God Has For You. And these are really good reminders of self-worth, and perhaps you can draw some kind of sketch or brainstorm of the type of person you would like to be in a relationship with. As we continue on, you have The Art of Seduction, the Boundaries Workbook, and After the Breakup, Self-Help Journal. I brought the Boundaries Workbook from back home as well because I had it as early as maybe 10 years ago, very young, because I learned that maybe boundaries were something I needed to learn how to reinforce. Okay, so The Art of Seduction is a great reminder that people don't like you just because you're awesome. What is it about you that's going to pull them in? Now, I think Robert Greene is an excellent author. I don't always agree with all of what he says. I certainly don't agree with the concepts of controlling others and certain things in the 48 Laws of Power. But The Art of Seduction, you can take and learn a little bit about others. Perhaps folks around you, you can learn what their natural propensity is and what yours is. But once you seduce them, you might need to learn how to reinforce boundaries. After the breakup, if you're undergoing or have undergone a really tough breakup, you want to make sure before you re-enter the dating pool that you have healed from that. And that's an excellent journal. So I've used both of those workbooks there at the bottom. And as we continue on, we get into another section which I believe focuses on attachment theory, with the exception of The Go-Giver. The Go-Giver was a gift to me by a group of scammers who were trying to get me to join their business in January 2022. But nevertheless, that's just kind of a random book that I had in my library, so I sat it here. And Dating with Purpose by Ashley Powers, excellent book. Probably should be down on the latter end of the spectrum there. Questions for Couples. I want to highlight the fact that although I was single, I was always optimistic and believed I would meet someone. And so I kind of wanted to know what type of questions should I be asking a prospective partner. And down here you get into the attachment theory. One of the things that I really started focusing on during 2020 and beyond, because all of these books are new, the attachment, the last four at the bottom, is this whole concept of secure attachment. I wanted to study it to see if there were any gaps between how I operate and secure attachment. And then I would work on those if they existed. And now we get down here to the 7 habits of highly effective people, mastering confrontation, 4 habits of effective communication, and assertiveness training. Now, I actually use these in the work environment. The 7 habits of highly effective people, I actually purchased that when I was still a school teacher, before I went to dental school. But I had the mini version. So then, as I completed my training, that's when I went ahead and got the full-size book, just to see, what else I could learn. And I believe that most of the skills in these books here, with the exception of Position of the Day, which is kind of a gag book here, but the other books really help. You can translate the lessons not just in the work environment, but in a dating environment, which can sometimes also be somewhat colorful in the way people, deal with one another. I want to highlight The Relationship Cure, which is a book by well-known psychologist Dr. John Gottman. I have another book by he and his wife called 8 Dates, which I absolutely am enjoying right now. But I wanted to kind of read some of his literature. I must highlight that I haven't finished most of these books. Now we get to the gag gift. At the top, Position of the Day. I was with one of my classmates from dental school in 2021, and that's when I purchased that book. We were in Urban Outfitters, and just kind of being silly, and I purchased that book. Probably opened it once or twice. I mean, it's funny, and that's that on that. In case you deal with an avoidant personality, maybe that avoidant, which that should be over there with the attachment theory books. That book may help you to understand some of the psychology that those personalities allegedly are supposed to have. And last but not least is this section that I'm currently in. How do I deal with my emotions? Getting to ID, love and respect, mirror work, meeting the shadow, and the full-size Holy Bible. Of course, we have the mini down here, but this is the section I'm currently reading. How do I deal with my emotions? I bought that book about 6-7 years ago when I was in dental school, and I brought it with me to the state which I currently reside. Getting to I do, I mean, that's the goal, right? So I haven't read that book. I need to start it because I am dating with purpose, and I read that book by Ashley Powers, and so maybe I need to read what these folks are talking about here. Love and Respect, great book for relationships, I've heard. Haven't read that either. Mirror Work, plan on finishing that after Meeting the Shadow, which is an excellent book. I'm 3/4 done. Mirror Work and Meeting the Shadow, those two were suggested by Chloe, and absolutely love Meeting the Shadow. And once I finished that, I was never able to get anyone to read it with me. But once I finished that, then I'll go on to Mirror Work. I was supposed to do it the other way around, but I decided the shadow grasped my attention so much more, and I have not been able to put that book down. And everything I do reflect the psychology behind it, and then I reflect on the Holy Bible because I don't want to lose my spiritual identity just because I'm understanding psychology. By the way, how do I deal with my emotions? It actually has scriptures for each emotion in that book. So, folks might laugh if I tell them the only books I've completed are The Pyramid Guide, If You Know, You Know, Dating with Purpose, I finished that cover to cover, and the Holy Bible. That's it. The rest of these books, I still read here and there. I pick them up as needed. I'm not going to say you ever graduate from some of this stuff, but I'd like to say that I'm not necessarily dealing with the need to read psychopath free. So as you continue to date, you will see if you like, then you could employ some of the strategies that I've used. You might laugh, but this is only 1/3 of my library. The other 2/3 are somewhere, else. But this has really served me, and this is what I was able to use during the dating process, And now that I'm in a relationship, in my mind, it's very important for me to focus on the last section of books. So if you're struggling out there or frustrated, maybe this will help.